Thank you, fans. We love you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for staying with us all year. Can't wait to see you next year. Go Fever.
Go Fever.
All right, guys, welcome back to TFD. We're back with another video, and it's looking more and more official. Caitlin Clark will not be doing Unrivaled. Yeah, that's right. The news is starting to pile up, and now we're finally getting some real reasons behind it. So for this one, we got to take a trip back to Indiana because it looks like everything is connecting right there. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have already heard the rumors about Caitlin skipping Unrivaled, and honestly, this doesn't surprise me at all. I've been telling y'all for weeks that she wasn't going to do it. I mean, come on, it's been clear for a while now. And apparently, the same sources that told me might have told the front office sports guys too, because they've been saying the same thing. Folks been hitting me up for months saying, yo, don't even push that Caitlin to Unrivaled story. She's not doing it. So I stayed away from that whole narrative, unlike a lot of people who ran wild with it. But hey, to each his own. Now, here's where things start getting real interesting. We're finally getting some details as to why she's probably not joining Unrivaled. Shout out to Rachel A. Demita. She recently caught up with Dave Portnoy, and he dropped some insight that's got people talking. Rachel's been landing some big interviews lately, and this one with Portnoy might have been the most revealing yet. During the interview, Rachel asked Dave straight up about Caitlin, if he'd ever want to partner with her or help her start something of her own. And Portnoy didn't hesitate. He said if Caitlin wanted to start her own league, I'd give her $100 million. If she made me her agent, I'd do it in a second. But then he added something interesting, that he doesn't think she'd ever actually do that. Why? Because she's got those blue blood endorsements, State Farm, Nike, Gatorade. He even compared her to Tom Brady, saying she rarely says or does anything controversial and that she's been a good trooper for the Fever and the league. Now, hold up. That phrase, good trooper, stuck out to me because that tells me a lot about where Caitlin's head is really at. She's been playing this whole thing smart. Remember that ankle injury? Yeah, the one she said was the worst pain she ever felt. Look, we all love Caitlin, but let's be honest. That didn't look like the kind of injury that keeps you out for weeks. No crutches, no boot, no brace, nothing. She was literally walking around the same day. So to me, when Portnoy says she's been a good trooper, that means she's doing what the Fever and the league asked of her. She's protecting her image, staying professional, and maybe, just maybe, playing the long game. She could have probably come back earlier, maybe even suited up for the playoffs, but she didn't. And that's not about pain, that's about politics. So yeah, Caitlin Clark skipping Unrivaled, it's not shocking. It's strategic. She's thinking long-term. Team USA, her brand deals, her legacy. She's not chasing short-term moves. She's building something bigger. And honestly, I respect that.
You talked about if Caitlin did her own league. Do you know anything about what you would want to see her do? You said you'd partner with her and give her $100 million. That's the biggest offer that she's gotten.
If she would have let me be her agent, I would have in a second. And if she's like, I'll start a new league with you, I would get her whatever you want. I don't think she'll ever do that. Like, I talk with her never about that stuff. She has State Farm, Nike, Gatorade. Those are like blue bloods. Ryan's a Tom Brady in a way. Like, very rarely, if ever, publicly says anything that like should cause any waves. She's kind of like been a good trooper for the Fever and the league. So I think she wants to make the WNBA work. I think she grew up wanting to play in it, but you have to have a certain personality. Like I think if she truly was like, I'm out of here, I'm starting my own league, she'd have people lining up, including myself, and she would put the WNBA out of business. I really do believe that.
Those are big facts, man. If Caitlin Clark ever decides to start her own league, it's over. There is no more W. The whole thing crumbles overnight. You guys realize that, right? Because I definitely do. The moment Caitlin makes that move, the WNBA as we know it, done.
So, it's official. Caitlin Clark will not be joining the second season of Unrivaled. Multiple sources familiar with the situation told Front Office Sports that the 3-on-3 basketball league had been heavily pursuing Clark since its launch last year, but she's decided not to take part. Now, this league reportedly had massive plans for Caitlin, even willing to offer her what one executive described as a Lionel Messi type deal. But as we've said before, for Caitlin Clark, it's never really been about the money. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The league recently expanded to 8 teams and 48 total players. As of Thursday morning, 46 names were confirmed, leaving 2 open roster spots. That immediately sparked speculation that those last 2 were being held for Caitlin Clark and NBA MVP A'ja Wilson. Neither participated in Unrivaled last year, and now, according to updated reports, neither will this year either. Angel Reese, who did compete in Unrivaled's debut season, isn't returning either. From everything I've heard, Angel is focusing full-time on her podcast brand and expanding her modeling opportunities. Maybe she didn't love last season's format, or maybe she's just moving into a different lane. But one thing's clear, she's building beyond basketball right now. As for Clark, one sports journalist pointed out that the league's statements this week about productive negotiations were originally referencing her. At one point, this looked like the closest Caitlin Clark had come to joining Unrivaled. However, that detail was later walked back, confirming she's not in active negotiations, and that the league is just waiting, hoping she changes her mind. If this sounds familiar, it's because we saw the same storyline last year. Unrivaled tried to build buzz around Caitlin possibly joining, and she quickly shot it down. Her camp made it clear she wasn't doing it then, and it looks like the same story again now. There's also a bigger angle here. Unrivaled's leadership, including co-founder Nafisa Collier, have been outspoken recently about frustrations with NBA management and labor issues. That tension might be playing a part in how certain players, especially rising stars like Caitlin, are navigating these off-season opportunities. So bottom line, Caitlin Clark won't play in Unrivaled Season 2, A'ja Wilson's status remains unconfirmed but unlikely, and Angel Reese is shifting her focus outside the league. The 3-on-3 startup might still make noise, but the star power many expected just won't be there this time around.
Change that. Maternity stuff, like pregnancy stuff. I'm not sure about what we're trying to change. The problem is we're so handcuffed. The NBA owns like 40 to 50% of the WNBA. And that is where it's so hard to compare, because they're like, well, we get the players this much, but on our side, we automatically have to take 40% off to give to the NBA before we see any money. So it's kind of hard even to do the comparison with them, because they're honestly just like we have different rules. Like we're working with a different set of rules, so it's kind of hard.
All right, man, let's talk about this whole Nafisa Collier situation again, because I didn't touch on this part yesterday. See, what's crazy about all this is Nafisa didn't even tell Caitlin she was going to do that interview. She didn't give her a heads up, no warning, nothing. And on top of that, she was pocket watching. Yeah, I said it. And you know what that tells me? Aaron Kane needs to get fired. Like immediately, bro. I'm about 80% sure he knew what was going down. See, a lot of y'all don't understand how this entertainment and sports business really works. Ain't nobody just out here doing or saying stuff on their own. Everything goes through agents, managers, PR teams, the whole nine. There's no such thing as spontaneous in this game. Everything's planned, polished, and approved before it ever hits the public. That's why some people don't like us YouTubers. We're raw. We don't got a script. We don't got handlers telling us what we can or can't say. We might say something that messes up a whole PR narrative. And that's exactly why the industry don't mess with us too much. Now back to Aaron Kane. This man knew. You can't tell me he didn't. Nafisa went on there and exposed Kathy Engelbert, and Caitlin Clark's name got thrown into it out of nowhere. And guess what? Caitlin didn't even know. That's crazy. You can't be representing 2 players, one's calling out the commissioner and dragging the other's name into it without at least giving a warning. That's like PR 101. Aaron Kane should have called Caitlin and said, hey, just so you know, Nafisa's going public with some things about Kathy and your name's gonna come up. Be ready. That's what a real agent or manager does. And don't get it twisted. Those statements Nafisa made, they don't just pop up overnight. Somebody helped her write that. It goes through an editorial process, a review process, and a clearance process. Managers and agents always know what's in those statements before they're released. Why? Because they don't want any bad press or damage to their clients' brands. So yeah, Aaron Kane knew, and he dropped the ball. Now, as for Caitlin, look, I keep saying this. She's not built for all this media drama stuff. That's not who she is. She's from Iowa, man. It's quiet there. Folks mind their business. They're not running around chasing clout or dealing with all these media schemes. Caitlin just wants to hoop. That's it. She don't care about the politics, the agendas, or the headlines. She's just a ball and go home type of player. But somebody from her camp has to step up, man. Somebody gotta have her back. Every time something happens, Caitlin ends up blindsided, and that's not fair to her. Aaron Kane, where were you, bro? Where's Connor? Where's the person protecting Caitlin's image? Someone needs to stand on business for her because she's clearly not going to get in the mud with these people. Anyway, y'all tell me what you think down below. Should Aaron Kane be fired? Should Caitlin find new representation? Because this is getting out of hand, bro. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe because I'm telling you right now, it's the off season. Content's about to slow down, but if Caitlin Clark even sneezes, I'm talking about it. Till next time, we out.